Hey everybody, Tracy Brown here. I'm the founder and the moderator of the public Facebook group, What is Mine to Do, where every day we ask each other and ourselves the question, what is mine to do to interrupt or end race-based hatred or violence? So please join us there and join in with this commitment to learn and to share and to encourage each other to be change agents, the kind of change agents that actually make an impact and help others end race based hatred and violence. Now, I am laughing for those of you who are watching live today because it's a little bit, tiny bit later than normal. And that is because I came on at the regular time, the time that we meet live, and I did a great show. I did a great episode. I try to keep the episodes like 15 minutes ish, a little less, a little more. And at 8:16, I ended the show. And then I looked and it's like, oh, click here to go live. I did the whole thing. And so I'm just telling you so that you can laugh with me if you were watching, planning to watch live, and now you're watching the recording thinking, did I miss something? And then for those of you who are just seeing the recording, just know when, people do stuff live, things happen as much as we love the technology. And for me, it's a real connection to what we are talking about today, which is call a thing a thing. Call a thing a thing. Like, don't hide from it. Don't pretend. Don't sugarcoat. Call a thing a thing. Now, just in case you've never heard that phrase before, call a thing a thing for many people, I won't say most, for many people is pretty obvious. It means, if this background is red, call it red, right? If you are experiencing something, don't be afraid to claim it or to explain it or to call it what it actually is. And why are we talking about that today? Because over the weekend, I was in a conversation with someone who basically, long story short, came to me to ask me if a joke that another person had told was racist. And they started explaining the joke, and I said, well, it doesn't really matter totally what I think. What do you think? And they said, well, I thought it was racist. And then I asked them, well, you did. So what did you say about it? What did you say to the other person? And they said to me, well, I didn't say anything because I wasn't really sure it was racist. And then I also didn't say anything because I didn't want them to be mad at me, right? Especially if I was wrong. And as we continued the conversation, it was clear to me that in the moment that the person heard the joke, the person I was talking to knew it was racist and just didn't want to create discomfort. Stop that. Call a thing a thing. If you do not talk to the people who you interact with and draw a line or educate, then everything perpetuates, right? It just continues. And if everybody else is laughing, then the person who told the joke is going to tell that joke 10 more times, 50 more times, 100 times. So the issue is being skilled and being able to call a thing a thing. And the mistake that most people make is they either don't call a thing because they're uncomfortable, or they don't want to make someone else uncomfortable, or they don't know what to say, or they call a thing, but they do it in such a harsh way, such a hurtful way, that it creates even more problems. So this, I'm afraid to make someone else uncomfortable, then kicks in, and I don't, want to upset them. So I'm not going to say anything. But I'm going to have my judgment about them. And I'm going to probably tell other people, oh, that person is racist, or whatever label I'm going to put in. So here's how the conversation I had with this person went. We talked about, okay, so clearly you didn't want to make that person uncomfortable because you clearly are aware that that joke was inappropriate. And they said, yeah, I guess you have a point. And so we talked about how challenging it is and how unproductive it is to call someone a racist. I'm not saying you never ever do that. There are times. But in general, what I'm going to be talking about is what you probably need to keep in mind 85% of the time or more. The typical person you're going to interact with or engage with one on one or in a small group, right? They may be exhibiting behaviors that are inappropriate. They obviously are speaking things that reflect the racism that is in the society. But when you use the word racist, especially toward a person, you are inviting them to be defensive because now they have to defend. They didn't mean anything by it. That wasn't their intent. Oh, they're so upset that you think of them that way, or they are going to turn the table on you. So what can you say instead? There are lots of things you could say instead. You could say, oh, what? I'm surprised you would tell that joke. It just seems like it's based on stereotypes to me. And what? You could say to someone directly, I don't find that funny at all, and stop. You could ask a question. You could say in a question form to someone, what's funny about that? Or, oh, why do you think that's funny? Or, did you really think I would think that's funny? And no matter what they say, you now have an opening to say, well, I find that really racist, or I find that that's based on stereotypes and it's not true, or I feel offended when you tell jokes like that because I have friends that would be very hurtful toward. So call a thing a thing. You don't need to be afraid to speak out. What you need to be conscious and aware of is how you speak out, how you call a thing a thing. And if you've been around or are participating in the What Is Mine to Do Facebook group, then you already know what I'm about to say related to the purpose of the group. There are many, many, many groups or many, many organizations and many places you can go, and you can be focused on the collective action that we all need to take. I am not telling you that you don't need to protest or write letters or go to a march. I am not ever going to tell you that you should not go to meetings or take a course in community organizing. I think all of those things are important. I do all of those things depending on the time, the situation. But in the What Is Mine to Do group, our focus is on how do we individually have impact with the people we meet in the places we work, play, share time with family, worship. How do we show up in these interpersonal situations in a way that helps to create change and build momentum? This is what is the focus is on What Is Mine to Do, asking ourselves, what do I need to do now and how can I do that? So I want to encourage you to call a thing. I want to encourage you to build skills that help you do that. I want to encourage you, of course, to join us at the What is Mine to Do Facebook group. It's a public group, but you do need to answer the group questions and agree to the group rules before you actually can join the group. I hope this is helpful for you. If you have specific questions about what to say and how to do it, come over to the What is Mine to Do group and ask. I'll be there, and a few thousand other people will be there who have ideas for you, who can help you improve your confidence and improve your skills and your competence. So please, my name is Tracy Brown. Join me again live, usually at 8 p.m. Central Time, right here where you're watching now. And in the meantime, let's build momentum together.